Okay. All right. All right. I'm live here and live here. All right. Peace. Peace. Aki, me here, the Success Scholar, the Honorable One. Thank you for tuning in. And that's better. That's a video here yesterday, and it wasn't totally the best. But I wanted to speak a little bit here, take an opportunity. Let's set this one up. Yeah, is that better? Yeah, that's a little better. So, how's that look? Okay. All right, all right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I want to take this opportunity to just mention that unfortunately in this society, many of us, certainly African Americans, have been basically ingrained in a deep rooted inferiority processes as well as low self esteem and race esteem based upon economics as well as knowledge about society and knowledge how to position oneself within a society for ultimate progress and self-corrective healing. So, with that being said, I've reached a point in my assessments where I know I need to do something different, and I know I need to be the conduit of raising up our community and to bring the right voices to the table that need to be heard, and so I pride myself on having doing that because there are different people in our life that we need to be aware of, and I made it my business to first read, of course, read these different individuals books as well as to make sure that I be in the place where these individuals are. And, you can and we can do that. So, with that being said, Dr. Kimbro and Les Brown are going to be coming to the Baltimore area. And I wanted to say, unfortunately, we have a leadership dynamic, for instance, in Baltimore, where these different leaders and many people have followers or people that they listen to that unfortunately they are not going to move us forward, right? And so I just put out a post and I want to reiterate that this is like a final call, if you will. I'm giving the laying down a gauntlet, if you will. If some of these so-called people do not encourage people to come out to see this. Now, I don't care if it's the mayor of Baltimore, respectfully, or if any city council people or any elected official. If none of them, first and foremost, if they don't have the skills, the progressive, freedom seeking ideas to push the community to listen just once in your lifetime to some of two of the most powerful voices on the planet in history, then I simply don't know, what I can do. But this is why I'm putting this out right now because some people they may not necessarily know, or unfortunately, it's really crazy that most people, who suffer from poverty, they don't develop a true consciousness. They don't develop a true consciousness in terms of knowing how to organize uh, themselves. Now, that may sound like, I'm class baiting, and I don't want to appear like I'm class baiting, and I'll expand on what I mean by that because I'm from the hood, right? And unfortunately, many people they see, the rise and they see me in a book with Les Brown, they like, well, who the hell he think he is? and 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 they don't want to see or give proper accolades, and this is why you have to build your independent network. You have to build outside of the limitations of people's cultural misorientation. Because again, you know, we come from a culture of success, like George Fraser says in the book "Success Runs in Our Race." Many people, miss that part of the historic narrative, and so I want to say that unfortunately, and I put it out, and I'm not going to tag people that I think, are the biggest talkers, but I'm just like, look, if you 30, 40, 50, 60 years old and you're going to miss this, this opportunity, these gentlemen don't come to Baltimore very often. Les Brown hasn't been to Baltimore, and I don't know how long, but you have Dr. Dennis Kimbro. Now, I know people may say, well, we can listen to other people. We don't have to listen to them. I'm just simply saying that some people have achieved a level of success that we need to respect, particularly if you haven't like heard them before, you know? And it's really truly unfortunate now for me being a part of Organo Gold and having listening to Houghton Bugs and Adair and Suleiman and Edward Haynes and what's the brother? All these different people. I've actually, I've heard a lot of these teachings for years, I mean, and I got taken to another level by expanding outside of the small networks of, the so-called activists, the so-called cultural people. They'll have a Black Power happy hour, this kind of thing. Like, really? And unfortunately, many of them they won't show up for something like this. So there's you can't give people freedom. Freedom has to come through the development of one's mind. And that's first and foremost. And unfortunately, many of the politicians and the preachers, they have a level of arrested development. And many of these radio people that's going to be on radio, they're not going to mention this event. And this is why you got to get it from the Success Scholar. This is why you got to pay attention. You have to share this video. You have to subscribe and tag people and this kind of thing. I'm asking for the real, conscious, empowered, healthy, holistic individuals, those that are not suffering from poverty psychology, to actually share this, right? And some people may say, well, you can just invite people. You don't have to, say, talk like that. People gonna step up. No, people are not, and because there's this little Negro plantation psychology going on, where individuals they eschew entrepreneurship, they eschew progress, true progress, uh, and learning. They're not motivated to learn. These little lazy politicians, who, they're not well rounded, right? They think that, and I don't want to just like let them calling out politicians per se, but there are a lot of people who went through some college or something like that, got a degree, and and they're misleading the other people. And there may be some others who may have read a particular book or two, and they out there dumbing down the masses of people, and they don't want to raise up and go into an environment where they can learn from other people. You see, so this is what's going on. So, like Dr. Kimbro said, if you're the smartest one in your group, you need to find another group. And that's what I did. That's what I did. I knew that, yeah, as I'm traveling, meeting people, networking, I'm reading the right books, my network is going to expand. And I no longer can just sit with people that are, happy hour reading books that's not, making progress, showing up at places where people, are continuing to make the same mistakes over and over again, which is poor mean passing over opportunity religiously. And this is what the difference between individuals that are actually making progress and those that do not. I know some people, they have this false belief, fear of success, and they have these opinions about successful people, and some may be right and legitimate, of course, but the reality is that what are you going to do? Are you just going to sit and just talk all day with people that are going nowhere? So this is a call out as well. And I apologize if anybody take this the wrong way, like I'm being mean to poor people, or people that don't want to show up to these get rich quick things. Like, Negro, you've been working your job and running around talking, telling people, some old, reading the Bible or something. I mean, there are principles in the Bible, of course, that but that not within by itself, and not any particular books. You need different pieces to be able to think strategically. Well, this is what the success scholar is saying. I'm not quoting anybody. I'm not telling anybody different things, because you can learn success principles from any book. But I'm saying that, unfortunately, many of the people that are adherents to these books, unfortunately, there's a there's a there's an interpretation from other groups, as well as the differences from persons of African descent. Now, that's just my understanding. Matter of fact, I actually got this from the pastor that's actually putting this part of the event on. He like broke that down, and he realized that many people do not want to hear what his message is, just based upon thinking that somehow he's preaching a gospel of gospel, a prosperity preaching. Well, hell, I mean, and it's not about buying expensive cars, or expensive having a $175 million $175 million plane to go and do your work. But I'm just saying, we don't need these poverty conscious people out here, so-called leading us. I mean, we can read your poor books that you've read. Some of these that's on these radio shows is telling ignorant black people, you gotta read, you gotta read, but you doing the same thing they doing. You riding around the same streets. You're not owning anything. You're not showing up at any events. You're not positioning yourself for any power. So who's going to respect what you're saying on the radio? So I'm just saying that it's time for us to expand our network. It's unfortunate that many of these different leaders that are out here, these different groups, they are ideologically committed, either to individuals who are just blood sucking and taking their money, a religious institution, or some group, or even to politics. Man, I remember some years ago, there was this candidate running for office, and I really felt sorry for him, but it was just like he spent so much money, just on a campaign. I knew damn well he couldn't win, but he raised money, and I was just like, you know what? That same amount of money, you could go to a conference, you could buy a little small piece of property in Baltimore, but you live in a little apartment somewhere, but you thinking you gonna get in the office, and had no chances of winning, really. And I saw it and I knew it, but I still supported him, because I do believe that people should be supported if they're young. But when people fail to listen to me, I just gotta raise up. And it's unfortunately that many of you, you're gonna keep listening to these you know poor righteous teachers out here, and ain't nothing righteous about staying poor. So if your message is not about making progress, you're worthless. You're worthless, and that's unfortunately what we have. These people, running around on these black radio shows and different radio shows in the Baltimore market. They've been dumbing the people down for years, and I want to see just which one of them step up to have either to reach out for less or reach out for Dr. Kimbro and say, hey, you come into town, how about coming on the radio or calling in or something. Let's see which one of these so-called radio people or these so-called politicians have the intelligence or the integrity, the forward thinking to reach out to these. Now I don't need to. I know what I read. I know what I heard by listening to these people. So I know what I've gotten, out of it. And if for other people that's smart enough, that's thinking and can think outside of their little job or whatever, you know, you would have something that you can learn from one of them. I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you, and I'm a testimony. Whether you all know what I'm going to do or who I am and who I'm going to become or not, that is irrelevant. So, but I'm gonna close out here. But the event is coming up. I'm not going to tell you what date it is. If you want to know, look it up. I don't, I'm not going to babysit anybody and beg you, but I'm gonna say if your peers or these so-called leaders that you listen to on the radio or you smiling up under some politicians, I'll tell you the event is at Morgan. It's going to be at Morgan. It's going to be in April. I'll just tell you that. So, do some homework. If you haven't been in jail, or somewhere just disconnected, either your priorities are messed up where you can't search and find out where it is, or find out about the event, or ask the most intelligent person that you know. And well, and I guess if you ask some people in Baltimore, you might think that they got it going on or something, but I mean, not many of them may not show up either, but they'll show up. I bet they asked to show up for a happy hour or a damn cigar lounge or some other little perpetrating event, So again, I don't want to seem like I'm hostile, but I just I feel that I'm laying down the gauntlet. I'm driving out the lines of demarcation because some people are running around perpetrating to the masses like they have something, you know, some real solutions or they have some intelligence and progressive things going on, but they're limited, and this is why we need people like me that has studied a variety of different people that can bring the right voices, the right mindset, because fundamentally we need to hear and study some particular things. And for those that know they need to read, they should read, and they should read the right things. So that's all I have. Yeah, you can go back and do like, subscribe, share it on your stream, share it on your website, wherever else I'm on. This is on YouTube as well. Peace, sis. Peace and blessings. Sister Tenacious Tia. Thank you for tuning in. Holla at the Success Scholar. I have a panel discussion today, a little later on, moderating, and I'm speaking as well. So I'm going to do up some tea and keep drinking this tea with some ovas. Good throat tea. So stay tuned in. Holla at the Success Scholar. I am out. Peace. What's up, sister?